Have you ever wondered what really goes on in a hotel after the sun goes down and most of the guests are asleep? The night shift can be an isolating, eerie experience. The long, silent hallways, the empty lobbies. Sometimes the quiet is the scariest part, but other times that quiet gets broken in the most terrifying ways. Tonight, I'm going to share 3 true stories from hotel workers who survived their night shifts, but were left with tales that will send a shiver down your spine. These aren't just spooky tales. They're real experiences from people just trying to make it through the night. So dim the lights, get comfortable, and let's check into the first story. Our first story comes from a front desk agent named Leo, who worked at an older, slightly run-down motel just off a major highway. It was one of those places with exterior corridors where every room door faced the parking lot. One rainy Tuesday, around 2 a.m., the phone at the front desk rang. It was the guest in room 214, an elderly woman, sounding panicked, whispered that someone was outside her door, jiggling the handle. Leo assured her he'd be right there. He grabbed a heavy-duty flashlight and headed out into the damp, quiet night. As he approached the second floor, he couldn't see or hear anyone. He checked the door of room 214. It was secure. He called the room from his cell phone, and the woman answered, still terrified. "He's still there." She insisted, "I can see his shadow under the door." Leo's heart started to pound. He was standing right there, and there was no one. He looked down, and that's when he saw it. Underneath the door, from inside the room, he could see a dark shadow, her shadow. But right next to it was another, larger shadow of a man, standing perfectly still right behind her. He told her in a calm voice, "Ma'am, I need you to slowly walk to the bathroom, lock the door, and don't make a sound." "Do it now." He heard a faint gasp, then the sound of her shuffling away. He immediately called the police. When they arrived and forced their way in, the room was empty. The window was wide open, the screen cut. The only thing left behind was a set of muddy footprints on the carpet, leading from the window right to the spot behind the door where the man had been standing. The woman was safe in the bathroom, but she and Leo would never forget the shadow that wasn't supposed to be there. Next, we head to a more upscale, historic hotel in a bustling city center. Maria was the night auditor, and she loved the quiet hours when she could get her work done. The hotel was famous for its classic charm, but also for its long-term residents. Guests and staff had often reported strange occurrences, especially on the 12th floor, which had been closed for renovations for months. One night, around 3:30 a.m., the elevator indicator dinged, showing it was ascending. Maria watched the numbers climb, 8, 9, 10, 11. It stopped at 12, the floor that was completely empty with no power. She assumed it was a glitch, but a few minutes later, the front desk phone rang. The caller ID showed room 1208. Maria's blood ran cold. She answered hesitantly. There was just static on the line, then a faint, childlike giggle before it disconnected. Her hands were shaking. There was no phone in that room. It had been stripped bare. As she was trying to rationalize what just happened, the elevator dinged again. She looked up at the indicator. The car was coming down from the 12th floor. The doors opened to an empty elevator, but as they slid shut, she could have sworn she heard that same faint, childish giggle echoing from inside. She refused to work another night shift alone after that. Our final story is perhaps the most unsettling. It comes from a security guard named David, who worked at a sprawling modern resort. His job was to patrol the grounds, including the 3 large, identical guest towers. It was a clear, moonless night, and the resort was unusually quiet. As David did his rounds, he looked up at the north tower and noticed something odd. On the top floor, in one of the corner suites, the lights were flickering on and off in a strange, rhythmic pattern. He knew that room was supposed to be vacant. He radioed the front desk to confirm. Yeah, North Tower, room 1501 is empty, the agent confirmed. No one's checked in there for days. David kept his eyes on the window. The light wasn't just flickering, it was flashing like a signal. On, off, on, off. Then it stopped. He decided to go up and investigate, feeling a growing sense of dread. He took the service elevator to the 15th floor and walked down the silent, carpeted hallway. As he reached room 1501, he noticed the door was slightly ajar. He pushed it open, announcing security. The room was pitch black and dead silent. He swept his flashlight across the suite. It was pristine, untouched. The bed was perfectly made, the furniture covered in dust sheets. Nothing was out of place. Confused, he turned to leave, pulling the door shut behind him and making sure it clicked. As he walked back to the elevator, he glanced over his shoulder one last time. Through the peephole of room 1501, a single tiny light shone back at him, as if someone was looking right back out. He didn't run, but he walked faster than he ever had in his life. The next day, he put in his resignation. Some things, he said, are better left unseen. These stories are a chilling reminder that when the lights go out, you never really know who or what might be checking in. A hotel's silence can hide so much. Thank you for watching. If you have your own creepy story to share, leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more unsettling true stories. Stay safe out there.